Hey guys, welcome back to TakeOver Tuesday, where we have a heart-to-heart talk with leadership and just try to help you overcome some of the challenges that you're facing. You know, being a leader is the toughest thing right now in our culture that I think that you could try to do. It would be so much easier just to blend in and follow, wouldn't it? But it's hard to be a leader. And if this is your first time tuning into the channel, just sit back, relax, or maybe you're listening as you're going down the road. I just want to take about 8 or 10 minutes and I want to just pour into you a truth that's going to help you in your leadership journey. Trust me, I've learned some things the hard way through 36 years of speaking all over the world, traveling, doing television, doing corporate gatherings, all of these kinds of things. And it's really not about that for me. At this stage, I just want to pour into you guys and tell you the things that I've learned. And I'm still on my journey of learning. Now, last week, we started a series of teachings that we're going to do for the next couple of weeks entitled The Gift That Keeps on Giving But Nobody Wants. It's called the Gift of Resistance. We talked about how every leader loves opportunity, but they hate opposition. And so last week, what I tried to do is I tried to reframe the whole concept of resistance for you. Now, I told you last week that resistance is proof that you're making progress. It is not necessarily proof you're headed in the wrong direction. If you're applauded all the time and never opposed, it's probably a sign you're not doing anything significant, because people never get their panties in a wad unless you change something that matters. All right? So if you're making changes, nobody's complaining, it's because it really doesn't matter to them. This week, I want to go a little bit deeper. I want to teach you that resistance isn't just fighting you, it's actually fighting for you. It's not trying to bury you, it's actually building you. I want you to start looking at every bit of resistance that comes against you as your personal trainer. And then I want you to put some muscle on your leadership. You know, you need resistance. If you've ever went to a gym, I almost filmed this in a gym just because I wanted to change the aspect of it. But I thought it might drive the point home. But you know what? If you're not experiencing resistance, you're not building any muscle at all. It's in the physical or in the spiritual. So when we think about resistance, I think about weight training, and the older I get, man, I don't really want to do weight training. I used to love it in the early years of my life. I'd work out 2 hours in the morning. I'd then go to the boxing gym 2 hours in the evening. I loved it. And I learned the hard way that without resistance, there's no strength. You know, you can go in and get on a machine and go and go and go and go and go. But over time, if you don't add resistance to that machine, or if you don't add more weights to the bar, you just remain right where you're at and your strength doesn't develop. Child of God, hear me as you lead today. The weight you push against determines the strength that you gain. What I'm trying to do in this series of teaching, as we look at the gift that keeps on giving but nobody wants, resistance, is I'm trying to reframe your whole perspective of when trouble or opposition comes your way. Opposition can be a good friend to you because it makes you stronger. It makes your team stronger if you know how to lead through it. You gain credibility as a leader when you handle opposition correctly. There is nothing like a great crisis to elevate leadership. The problem is most leaders, when they hit the wall of crisis, fall apart. You've got to quit looking at all of your opposition like that and look at it as your personal trainer to put strength on you for what you're trying to accomplish. Now, in the book of James, James actually talks about this in chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. In your personal time, go read it. But he talks about how trials produce endurance, that endurance produces maturity, right? So, no endurance, no maturity. No trials, no endurance. So we've got to have resistance. And I'm going to make a statement right now. My God, this statement is so good, it ought to go on a billboard. Like, seriously, this is worth every session of every podcast I have ever done. One time, I was really struggling. I had people writing about me in the paper. They were talking about me on television. Podcasters were doing stuff. I had a group of people in my church that was resisting where we were trying to take them. I was really, really, really struggling. And I'm in prayer and I said, Lord, why do I have so many haters? And I'm telling you, if God has ever spoken to me, and for those of you who are not Christian and you say, I don't believe that, well, if I've ever had a great thought, here was the great thought. But I really feel like the Lord spoke to me and he said, Shane, your haters are just your unpaid strength coaches. Now, at that time, I was paying a pretty hefty membership, and I was paying a guy to train me. And he said, all of your haters are your unpaid strength coaches. He said, this is how I want you to look at them. And so, leader, let me give you a practical application today as I bring this part to a close. Stop praying for all resistance to vanish from your life, and take a moment, back up, take a deep breath, look at the resistance, and just ask, what's this trying to teach me about where I am, or where my team is, or where my organization is? You've got to learn to spot yourself in these moments and invite accountability partners in to help you. When you're walking through resistance, don't try to handle that resistance by yourself. Invite other people in that help you. And I promise you, if you'll reframe the way you're looking at this resistance, and I know it's the gift that keeps on giving and we don't want it, but it's coming anyway. Opposition, opportunity are twins. They walk together. You've got to learn how to embrace that. So I want you to look at resistance as an opportunity to get stronger. It is your personal trainer that is growing you for the next level that you're going to walk in your destiny. Now, that's all I've got for you this week, but let me give you a little bit of a cliffhanger because I want to tell you what we're going to talk about in our third episode of this series. Next week, I'm going to show you how to take the very thing trying to hold you back and turn it into the wind that launches you forward. I'm going to teach you next week in an 8-minute episode how to take the pain that you feel like is perplexing you and turn it into a platform that promotes you. Well, I hope you hang out for that. Listen, subscribe, share the feed. We always say that all the time, but many of you tune in from all over the world, but you don't like or you don't subscribe. I don't care if you hit a thumbs down. I don't care if you put a bad comment in the comment section. It doesn't matter to me. I just want you to be honest. I want you to be transparent. I want you to interact because I look at every single one of those every night, and I need you in my life as much as you need me in yours. Now, go out and take over the world. Thank you for joining me on TakeOver Tuesday.